Talk 1150 and 97.5 KRMS Radio.
Well, Marsha Wright, welcome to the Morning Magazine.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, Manny. It's a pleasure.
Well, absolutely. Well, I'm glad to get to talk with you this morning. We're going to talk a little bit about Paula Deen, and it's a bit of a different conversation than I think a lot of people are having, especially given the situation that's kind of the background that I think everyone's familiar with what happened with her and her comments that have really broken a lot of business alliances with her. But let's get into this conversation here. What is your big takeaway from the Paula Deen situation right now?
Well, see, to me, this whole entire situation is just so has so many similes to so many other endorsement deals that have gone wrong. And what's very, very clear has happened here, and there are so many commenters, hundreds of commenters, and if you take the people on Twitter, thousands and thousands of people who have a great opinion on this. Everybody's opinion is the most important one. And I spent a lot of time watching different things that Paula has been doing and her interviews, etc. But one thing that really needs to be thought about here is from the side of the strategic alliance, which is the area that I most focus on, and looking at why it is that companies are putting themselves in a situation where profit and the desire for profit is coming a lot more ahead of how much investigation is being done into those they're endorsing.
Well, and you mentioned that this is not the first time a celebrity has been in trouble for either something they've said or something they've done. And it almost seems like it doesn't take a lot these days for one company to follow another company to follow another company.
That's
before
right.
you know it, the celebrity's out of, well, not completely out of business, but
it's a house of cards, you know, Manny. It's a complete house of cards because once one person jumps ship, what it's actually saying to the remaining strategic alliance partners is, if you stay on board, you are encouraging that behavior. And, of course, no brand wants their name sullied with it. They don't want people looking back and saying, oh, remember when X company supported that, even if that's not what happened. They don't want to be aligned with somebody who can affect their, you know, at the end of the day, these companies are making money and they are there to support their shareholders. So anything that is going to make their shareholders feel a little bit jittery, or whether it is justified or not, is going to be something that's going to be pulling the plug. And my concern with a lot of the PR agents and a lot of the people who are representing celebrities is that they're really not thinking about completely educating their clients that they are now walking, talking, living, breathing corporations. Everything they do is monitored. They know that as celebrities, but it takes a whole nother life on board when you bring in the whole endorsement element.
And when you talk about endorsements, I know Paula Deen is not as big of an endorser like a Tiger Woods would be, for example. But, I mean, that's still major money when you're talking about somebody that has a television show and then everything else that goes along with that.
Well, Manny, you see, these are high dollars. These are not, you know, deals that are made public. You know, this is why I wrote the whole book about the secret collaborative economy, more clients, more exposure, more profit faster, because these are deals that people are doing, you know, these companies, large companies are doing that are not publicized until the deal is signed. There are amazing astronomical amounts of money that are involved in these deals. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I think if somebody has built up a brand, and I've taught people for many years about building their brand, so if you build up a brand, you should be able to leverage it. You know, you take somebody like Beyonce. Beyonce used to be a singer. Now she's not just a singer, she's a businesswoman, she has perfume, she has, you know, you look at all of these different celebrities and they understand that the biggest thing that they got famous for is not actually where the money is. And a lot of celebrities and even other names are really growing themselves so that they can access the endorsement money because that's where the majority of the money is.
Now, as you look at this entire Paula Deen situation, a lot of big-name companies have cut ties with her, but not everyone has. Over the weekend, there were several stories here in the United States about how 10 different companies are sticking by her, and they have no plans to dump her like some of these other companies have.
Well, the thing, I've been hearing some of the same reports, but the thing is, there's a lot of flip-flopping going on, and there's a lot of tentative. We're seeing how the situation unfolds. We're waiting to see. We're not making any decisions at this point. But rest assured, if the proverbial crap continues to hit the fan, then I believe that we will start seeing more of those companies jumping ship. Now, one of the things I think that Paula should be thinking about doing, moving things forward, because, I talk at it from the side as if you need to attract endorsements, or are you attracting strategic alliance partners, which is what she has done. But I also look at it from the side of the companies who are actually wanting to look for people they can work with. So I've kind of got a great, both sides of this coin covered. But I think that Paula should start thinking about doing things that very strange, and you said earlier on when you introduced me that it was a unique take, and I think that Paula should start thinking about growing her brand in a way very similar to the music industry, where she brings on other talent and builds up that talent and has licensing, etc., on their names. Until everything calms down, she obviously cannot go and start just doing the philanthropy route, because it's going to be a thinly veiled attempt to recoup her reputation. She needs to start thinking about other assets that she can use to continue to grow her empire and start trying to recoup some of the losses that have taken place. There are a lot of people who are saying, oh, well, this company hasn't jumped ship or that one hasn't. Let's see what happens in the next few weeks. We didn't think that she'd lose as much as she did when this all came out.
Well, and that's a great point you make, because from a business standpoint, I don't know exactly what the real, hammer was that dropped, because this news had been out for some time that this lawsuit was taking place with Miss Deen and with her family, with this restaurant, from this ex-employee. And then the deposition came out, and then it kind of what you've already mentioned, one company made a decision early on, and then that was followed by all of these others. But
right.
Some of these other companies are doing just what you're saying there. They're taking a wait-and-see approach, but definitely it doesn't look like Paula's completely out of the business world just yet.
No, I don't think it has to even be over for her. It's going to take a minute. When you have these issues, we think about, the Mary-Kate and Ashley situation, the Got Milk adverts, all being so healthy, and then, a few weeks later, one of them being checked into a rehab center for health issues. You've got the Tiger Woods issue. You've got this is a classic one, the Ronaldinho issue, when he lost $1.5 million from a Coca-Cola ad because he had 2 cans of Pepsi on the table during a press conference. This is all the kind of stuff, it all happens. It's constantly happening because, unfortunately, the people who are around, a lot of these celebrities are not completely keeping their eye on the ball. And one of the things that my firm does is help to advise companies who are using endorsement deals as a way to brand magnify, which is one of the other things I talked about in my book, and the book's coming out this month. But I was talking about using brand magnifiers as a way to get what is already a good business and then take it completely to a next level. Because once you get one deal, as Paula found out, you get another one, and your opportunities are exponential. So we want to really look at ways that businesses can take their brand potential and add it to the right people, doing the right background checks and making sure that there is a designated person on each camp who can help make sure that that celebrity does justice to the brand that they have signed with. It's a lot of money on the line.
You're absolutely right. We're talking with Marsha Wright here on the Morning Magazine on News Talk 1150, 97.5 KRMS. Now, your new book is actually coming out this month. It's called The Secret Collaborative Economy. Tell us a little bit about that book and how it can really help those that own small businesses and also companies, for that matter, when it comes to strategic alliances.
Well, Manny, thanks very much for asking. I'm very, very excited about this book, and I'm not the only one. Not only has the book been forwarded by Jim Stovall, who's the New York Times bestselling author of The Ultimate Gift, which was also turned into a movie. He's also the founder of the Narrative Television Network and so on. So we've got a great foreword in the book, but it's actually a phenomenal book for leaders, business owners, managers, sales professionals, CEOs, anybody who's in a position of leadership who wants to actually grow their business can use The Secret Collaborative Economy. Some of the deals that you're seeing being done that are being done behind closed doors but that create magnificent amounts of profit and revenue, those can be done on a micro level, and there are companies who've been given the previews for the book, who have been already improving their businesses based on the previews. It's a great book, and coming out this month. And the key areas are about doing what they want to do, building their business exactly as they want to do it, but realizing they don't have to do it with the predefined suppositions that they've made. If you turn around and say, well, I want our business to increase revenue, that's really not a great goal. How much do we want to increase revenue by? How? Where? Where is it going to come from? Where this book is very different, and I searched because I teach about and I consult about strategic alliances and how to leverage them, because we have our own strategic alliance department with connections all over the world. I looked. There was nothing talking about how companies on a micro level, and I'm not just talking about the companies who are making up to $500,000, $1 million a year. I'm talking about bigger companies as well, can take these same tools and actually start looking at how can we do this differently? How can we leverage strategic alliances in this time where there is cash hoarding or there is absolutely limited budgets, to be able to do things very differently and to be a lot more successful, because a lot of the time we are using these same old strategies, rehashed, put a little bit of lipstick on that pig, and we're hoping that it's going to be better, but we can do things that will actually speed up our success and our business success and take it to a whole nother level. The last thing I'd say on that is the excitement about this book is very evident because we've had partners, including companies in Asia, in America, Europe, right throughout the world. We have commitments for this book to be promoted to 1 million entrepreneurs. And this has all happened by using the exact same strategies. This whole book was written in less than a month. It was actually written in 5 days, and everything to do with collaboration, because I wanted the authenticity of the book to be there. Everything, the promotion, everything, all of it has all been arranged in the last 21 days. So if I can do it using exactly what's in the book, why couldn't one of your listeners who has a business go out and get 1 million people who could hear about their business, all without a cost?
Well, that's tremendous. 21 days. I think a lot of people that put books together like this take, I don't know, maybe 21 months to do something like that.
I'm not nearly as patient as that, Manny. I would have been happy to refer people to a book if it existed, but it was very evident that there just was not enough. And so along with my event, which is called the LSA Summit, which is Leveraging Strategic Alliances Summit, so lsasummit.com, along with my event, it was just so evident people really wanted something they could take and that they could bring to their teams. We've got companies who are licensing the book so that they can bring the book into their company, having every employee in the company have it. We've got companies who are also negotiating with us to license the book itself so that they can actually deliver it to their small business clients as a value add. So there's such a strong element of collaboration, and if smaller businesses can use exactly the same strategies that some of these larger businesses do, but they use the due diligence in the right way, they won't end up with the colossal mistakes that have taken place in the Paula Deen debacle. But what will actually happen is they'll actually end up with rewarding relationships, rewarding opportunities, and they'll be able to achieve the things that they want to do in their business flat out, a lot easier. The book itself, though, Manny, was written in 5 days.
5 days?
5 days.
Wow.
And the rest of everything else is just the editing and all the promo work. But the book itself was written in 5 days, all with the power of collaboration.
Wow. Well, that does say something about collaboration and also about the speed in getting something put together that quickly.
Right.
Marsha, can you give our audience some more information about where they can find out not only when the book is coming out, The Secret Collaborative Economy, but also more about you and what you do for businesses and then also for people as well?
Yeah, sure. Thanks very much for the question. I appreciate that. Well, before we go any further, I wanted to make sure that I could do something special for the wonderful listeners of the Morning Magazine, because I think you guys do some great work over there. So we set up a page where your listeners can get access to the preview of the book completely free of charge, and then we've got some bonuses as well. So if they go to marshawright.com/book launch, which is MARSHA WRIGHT.com/book launch. They'll actually be able to get access to the preview today and connect with me on Twitter. I'm very active on Twitter, so speak with me through Twitter, and my Twitter handle is @Marsha Wright. So that's the plug out of the way. But now onto the great stuff, which is how to actually grow their businesses and what we do. I've been in business for a long time, and one of the things that I have leveraged for years is the power of strategic alliances. So for what actually ended up happening is that our strategic alliance partners who span the globe wanted to know, how do we do what you do? How do you get so much exposure? How do you do all of these things and you're not paying through the nose for advertising? How do you help others to be more successful? Because I've mentored over 1,000 business owners. I've appeared on television, in newspapers, etc. I've done great work, but I've done great work with the power of my strategic alliances, and that's what really brought out our whole business about leveraging strategic alliances. And so the whole power behind what I do and why I'm so passionate about what I do is because it allows entrepreneurs, it allows managers, it allows leaders and influencers to really take things to a whole nother level. I'll leave you with one little thing here. In our minds, we think, I can't possibly do X, Y, Z because I've got to do this first. When you use the power of the secret collaborative economy, when you really use that power, you're no longer saying, I can't do this because I've got to do this first, and I don't care if it's money or contacts or whatever. You actually now have the ability to contact and to work with any human being on the face of the planet. And it's a very bold claim, but it's one that I've proven time and time again, and many others who have followed in my footsteps have too.
Well, Well, Marsha Wright, thank you so much for the time and for the information and the visit, and also the contact information as well, and talking with us here on the Morning Magazine on News Talk KRMS. Continued success to you, and we will continue to give out your contact information during the course of the program, where, again, the audience can get a preview of your new book, which is
Absolutely.
The Secret Collaborative Economy, which hits stores this month.
Yeah, absolutely. We hit Amazon this month. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Manny. It really has been a pleasure. And take care over there.
Yeah, you too. You too.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Bye.
Marsha Wright, renowned business expert.